Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Someone somewhere at some point asked if I would redo or sort of refresh one of the cafes in Windenberg with the Cozy Bistro kit that just came out. I think. I'm 99% sure that I saw this comment somewhere, and I'm pretty sure it was on Discord. However, I can no longer find the message or comment or whatever it was, so if this was your idea, thank you. I had a great time. This was a great idea. Delightful. Can't find you anywhere. Many apologies. So, yes, I decided to work on South Square Coffee and give it a bit of an update with the Cozy Bistro kit. I'll get into my opinions on the kit in a second, but let's talk about the structure first. So, South Square Coffee. The reason I decided to rebuild this one was twofold. First of all, the lot sucks. It's got weird lighting because the team did a weird, ceiling roof thing that didn't quite pan out. It was very bizarre. And the second reason is because the other cafe lot in Windenberg already had our castle restaurant on it that we built a while ago. So I figured, we'll just leave that lot be and we'll rebuild this one. By and large, it's a fairly similar shape. The main difference I made to the shape was switching the direction of the roof pieces. You might notice that in a lot of these sort of rebuilds, refreshes, whatever the heck this one's going to be called. I don't even know what playlist to put this in. Anyway, in a lot of these videos, while the end shape may be quite similar, I don't generally start with the structure. I tend to bulldoze and then rebuild. That's just because moving walls around, in my opinion, is a bit more complicated than just deleting them all and starting fresh. So that's why even though the shape may be the same, I did delete walls and rebuild instead of just moving the walls around a bit. Hopefully that makes sense. I also felt like there was a lot of wasted space on the second story because there was a bit of a catwalk situation, and I don't know if it was supposed to be a support beam or what, but it wasn't accessible to the Sims or anything, so I decided to go ahead and make a second story, and now this cafe has pretty much everything that you would need for a public lot. Obviously it has all the cafe stuff, but I ended up putting in some games and skills and things, so overall the whole lot uses the Cozy Bistro kit, Get Together, obviously, and I did also put Grimm's guitar in there. However, since it is a free item, you can get it by adding your email to an email list, I think, for EA, and then you just unsubscribe immediately, but boom, you got a fun guitar that smokes when you play it. It's pretty cool. So I don't generally count that or the free holiday kit in builds when I do this as a limited pack, so if you ever see something and I'm like, this is base game only, but it says it uses a pack, it's probably one of the free things. Look at me over-explaining stuff again. I ended up keeping the same shade of the half timber wallpaper, but I did switch out the stone for a brick just because I really don't like that all of the stone options from Get Together have that wood trim at the bottom. It's fine for the base level of a building, but when I tried to put it up a chimney or up a second level, I don't like how it all fits together like that. So to keep the balance, I guess I decided to go with a brick that was the same color as a stone and still had the white grout lines. So that was sort of my, what's it called? Compromise. That's the word. My compromise there. I ended up putting in a lot of windows. I had this idea for the little planter area over here. Eventually the planter on the one side actually gets turned into a fountain, but I thought that would be a good way to keep the stone that was originally on the lot, which what's on the screen right now isn't that stone. I ended up switching it later to keep the stone, but then also bring some plants in because there are some planters. You can see the planters in the world, but there's not a green space for your Sims per se in this particular neck of the neighborhood. So I thought I would just make some plants and stuff, and I like it. I think it turned out pretty cute. All right, the Cozy Bistro kit. So, as always, I'm a little bit disappointed in the wood tones. They don't match a lot of the base game wood tone options that we have. There's black and there's white, which is lovely, and I think there's a gray. And there are a couple of wood tones that don't match other wood tones that we already have, because of course they don't. That would be way too convenient. And there's blue and pink and green. I think those are all the colors. I ended up going with green because I really like dark green and gold. It's a great combo. I've talked about this frequently, where I'm not generally a gold person, but for some reason that combination of that dark green and gold is just so good. So I ended up going with that. I did use stone inside. I honestly don't remember off the top of my head right now if there was stone in the original or not, but I'll show you before and after pictures at the end, so you can judge that. Yeah, stone inside. Oh, and I did remember to paint the ceilings in this one, which I'm pretty proud of myself, because I I was so excited about the ceiling painting feature, and then I just completely forget to use it. You're also going to see the inside walls change a few times. I did use a handful of the Cozy Bistro items. I used almost exclusively the Bistro chairs. And I used some of the wallpaper, obviously the doors and windows, but structurally, I think it was mostly Get Together, and then furnishing, it was a pretty even split between base game, the Bistro kit, and Get Together. Now, building out a cafe is interesting. Any public lot, really. If you want to know more about building a cafe, I actually do have a Build Like a Nerd cafe video that I will link at the end of this one if you're interested, along with the castle restaurant, because if you enjoy this video, you're going to like probably both of those. Anyway, that's not the point of what I'm trying to say here. What I'm trying to say is when you're building a public lot, it's really important to not overclutter, especially if you're building it not for your own gameplay purposes, but to actually be enjoyed by the player base at large, because especially public lots where there are just more Sims around than in a family where generally you have like max 8 Sims around, stuff gets clogged up so fast. People just, the little animations overlap and everything. So when you're building a public lot like a cafe or a bar, you really want to make sure you have a couple of tiles between the main animation hubs, like in front of the cafe bar or in front of the bar, so that your Sims have plenty of space to perform their animations and they don't get bugged out, and your Sim is able to get over there and get their food before another Sim picks it up randomly. So lots going on. Oh, and I added a closet. So because of that, the inside of, I mean, I'm generally not much of a decorator anyway, but the inside of a public lot, especially one that I build, is going to be a bit less full and decorated when compared to maybe a residential lot of a similar size. And that's why, just trying to leave as much extra space as I can for the animations to keep the game running as smoothly as can be reasonably expected. You might have a couple questions about the bathroom, so I'm going to answer those now. I put the little windows above the doors because the other doors in our building here so far, except for the club doors, all have transoms, which is that like a little window at the top. These served a few functions. Obviously the window's quite high up, so privacy is not really a concern unless you're 7 feet tall, and those could often be opened, so what that allowed for was for doors to be closed, but airflow and light to reach inside whatever building they're part of. So that's why I decided to add the transom windows over the bathroom windows to mimic the arch that's outside the restroom and the double door arch from the Bistro kit that leads into that hallway there. Also, the stalls should be perfectly functional. I decided to make the bathroom have stalls because your Sims are so prone to following each other into the bathroom, and this way it's more likely that your Sim will actually be able to use the bathroom and not just spend all their time yelling at whoever else is in there to get out so that they can have some privacy. So that's why I decided to do a bit of a stall arrangement in the bathroom there. Oh, let's see. I already changed the counters out. The first counters I put in I realized weren't actually the same counters as the cafe bit, and this bench took me forever to figure out how the table slotted to it. I was trying to slot a 1-tile table to it, but it won't take a 1-tile, it'll take a 2-tile table, so I had to sort that out. It's fine. So we do have a slightly larger table, and again, this is a cafe, which is generally just for a few people to hang out, but we do have a larger table, a couple of elevated seating areas with the computers, because I thought that the original one had computers in it, but it didn't, so I don't know if at some point I added computers to one when I was doing some sort of gameplay and then just thought they were there to begin with. I don't know. But I added some computers. Oh well, it's fine. Oh, and then the green roof to like bring in the green from the doors and stuff. Honestly, I thought that was pretty fun. I put in some games and stuff on the upstairs. I used the foosball, 2 game tables, one with the llama game and one without, just to like give your Sims options, and chess tables, the darts, I think I already said foosball, a couple of couches, sitting area, ended up putting a bookshelf upstairs as well, so hopefully when your Sim gets asked on a date here, or you decide to hold a club gathering here, your Sim will be able to just do all of the things, fill all of the needs. I did also add a performance space. I wanted to add a busking station, but those only come with City Living, I believe, and there are 2 different ones, but yeah, since this one didn't use City Living, I don't actually have like a station for your Sim to play at and earn tips or whatever, so you will just have to stand there. But if you have City Living, that would be a really good place to just throw one of those units in real quick. I also really like this wallpaper. Now, was it last week? See, the thing is, when I finish a video, it's out of my head. It's gone because my brain is so full of whatever the next video is. So I know cognitively that recently we did an Art Nouveau build, and I'm pretty sure that was last week, but it could have been 2 weeks ago. Not really sure, and I'm not going to look it up right now because I'm talking to you guys. Anyway, we just did an Art Nouveau build, and I was low-key mad when I started building with this because the pattern on the wallpaper and the scroll work on the mirrors and the bar and the stools, like, it's not like specifically an Art Nouveau pack, but there are enough elements that have enough overlap. It would have really helped me out with the Art Nouveau rebuild that we just did. So I'm a little bit bummed, but you know what? It's fine. Yeah, I think that was last week. I don't know. Anyway, let's talk about club gathering spots for a second, because if you don't already have get-together, first of all, fantastic pack, highly recommend. It just has so many skills and activities, because just the get-together activities are on this lot. We have the arcade, we have the game table, which includes the Don't Wake the Llama, which is like Jenga meets Don't Break the Ice. It has the dartboard, which, I mean, you can get in the base game now with the rewards. I have different opinions about that. We can get to that later. It has the dartboard, foosball table. Did I already say foosball? I don't know, but it has like a bunch of activities in it, which is great. And it has the clubs function, so that you can create clubs with your Sims and you can hang out together. What's the point of a club? Well, if you're trying to get a skill or a series of skills built up, that can be really handy. If you're trying to keep track of which kid has which friends in your gameplay, you can make each kid have a club and just add their friends to that club. And then whenever you want the kids to hang out so they can, do the little social butterfly skill or whatever, you just start a club gathering and bam, there are a bunch of kids at your lot. It's so helpful. Plus, you can make activities that the club prefers to do and prefers to not do. And if you set your club, like, so you have a teenager, right? And you want your teenager to have some friends. So you add a few teens to a club and you set them to like doing cooking and gardening and cleaning, and you set them to not like doing mischief. They're going to come over, a bunch of teens are going to clean your house, and they're not going to set your toilet on fire, which is fantastic. So anyway, with the club function, you can actually set club hangouts at specific lots just in your game. Several of the lots in Windenberg, because that is the pack that came with that function, have club hangout spots. So what you do is there's a club door. I have 2 club doors leading to the 2 back rooms here. And when you travel to that lot with your sim, who is a leader of a club, you can click on the door and set it to be locked for everyone except members of your sim's club. You can then customize those club rooms to have whatever it is that you need. I did not set the doors on this lot because it's not my game that's being played here. So right now, those 2 rooms are just open to anybody, the little arcade room and the little like bar reading room. But if you have a sim that has a club and you want to set it, you can just come in just live mode, I think, and just visit the lot in live mode, and you can set a room to be only for your club, then your club can hang out there. So that's what like the club doors and everything are all about. Now, getting these platforms to have plants on them was a wee bit of a challenge. I did have to use move objects a bit. And this is the point where I realized that just really wasn't going to work. It wasn't worth the frustration. So I decided to add a fountain. In general, I hate the fountain tools. However, this seemed like a pretty good lot to add one. Also, Windenberg Get Together, was released. It was the first world to release that had a pool lot, because when The Sims 4 released, the pools weren't a thing yet. So I'd really like to rebuild that lot. The gym and pool lots in this world, honestly, all the lots in this world are terrible. But I thought about adding a pool, decided to not add a pool, added a fountain, but I did recolor the fountain with the watercolor that came with Get Together. Get Together actually comes with a few different new watercolors, I think. Anyway, let's see, what am I doing now? Oh, right now I'm scrolling through just to see if there are any other decorations I want to add to the lot before it's done. Again, it's a little bit more sparsely furnished, but that is by design. I do want to make sure that your Sims have every opportunity to not completely glitch out in this lot. I did playtest it. I sent some Sims there. Everybody was able to order their coffee and whatever, so that's all good. Oh, also Get Together just has some of the best outdoor decorations. I don't know if you've caught me putting them in, but there's a little sundial, there's a little wagon, there's a snail that I decided to not use. I felt like it didn't quite fit the vibe. The Bistro kit, I actually really did like. If it's a style that you generally like, or you do a lot of community lot builds, I think you're gonna like this kit. It has just enough class where it definitely makes the build feel older and like it's been there for a while. It's got the fancy classy shapes and whatever, but at the same time, it's not so old-fashioned that it's not going to easily blend in to some of your more modern stuff. So I do like the Bistro kit. I think that you'll enjoy it as well, even if I do have some gripes about the swatches, but let's be real, I always complain about the swatches. We all always complain about the swatches. And here are some before and afters for anyone who wants to see the full transformation. Overall, I think it's recognizably the same lot, or it should fit into the world still very well. I hope so anyway, because that's the whole point of everything. This isn't an official rebuild or anything. Again, I'm not sure quite yet what playlist I'm going to put this in, but whether it's an official rebuild or not, I do generally, if I'm building something for a world, I want it to blend in fairly decently. The slight exception being, of course, our castle restaurant, but that's because it's a castle. Anyway, thanks for building with me today, and I look forward to building with you again very, very soon. Bye!